Hi, I'm Phil Salee. I'm the Minister of Pastoral Care at Prestonwood Baptist Church at the North Campus. And this is the third and final devotional for Holy Week. This is Thursday, the day that Christians traditionally observe the fact that Jesus washed his disciples' feet. Well, what's that all about? Well, it says in John 13 in the Gospel of John, "Now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of the world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end." Now, the best translation I've ever heard of that passage is that Jesus demonstrated the full extent of his love. And with that as a backdrop, I want to read from Max Lucado. Max Lucado writes, "Of all the times we see the bowing knees of Jesus, none is so precious as when he kneels before his disciples and washes their feet. The disciples enter one by one and take their places around the table. On the wall hangs a towel, and on the floor sits a pitcher and a basin. Any one of the disciples could volunteer for this job, but not one does. After a few moments, Jesus stands and removes his outer garment. He kneels before each one of the disciples. He unlaces their sandals and gently lifts their feet and places it in the basin. He covers it with water and begins to bathe it. One by one grimy foot after another, Jesus works his way down the row." The gift of Jesus that he gives to his followers. He knows what these men are about to do. He knows that they're about to perform the vilest act of their lives. By morning, they will be burying their heads in shame and looking down at their feet in disgust. And when they do, he wants them to remember how his knees knelt before them as he washed their feet. He wants them to realize that those feet are still clean. "You don't understand what I'm doing, but you will understand later," Jesus says in verse 7. Remarkable. He forgave their sin before they even committed it. He offered mercy before they even sought it. Jesus shows his disciples the full extent of his love by getting on his knees and washing their feet. And then he says, "You don't understand what I'm doing now, but you will understand later." And then in verse 34 and 35, Jesus says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You are also to love one another. By this will all men know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." See, this isn't about just washing feet. Washing feet, taking the form of a servant, doing something that shows Jesus' love flowing through you, is what his disciples do. And I would pray that on this Thursday and the rest of Holy Week, heading into a victorious Resurrection Sunday, I pray that you would look for opportunities to love others the way Jesus loves you. God bless.